Robert Rauschenberg, many people consider to be one of the most important artists of the 20th century. He's an artist that comes at a time period in America between abstract expressionism and the formation of pop art. We're standing in Rauschenberg's former home and studio. It's in the NoHo area of New York, and it used to be an orphanage. Most people know Robert Rauschenberg based on his early works in the 50s and going into the 60s. So the combine works, where he's combining different elements to create sculptural forms. What you see in the 70s, 80s, and 90s is his exploration into entirely new materials.
The works that are installed on this floor at the moment are works from the early to mid 80s, and he said that his most influential teacher was Joseph Albers at Black Mountain, and Albers taught about respect for and interest in materials, and Bob really took that to heart. This work that I'm standing next to is from a series he called Glut, which he started in the mid-1980s and worked on and off for about 10 years, where he was taking from metal scrapyards the raw material and then composing them and assembling them in ways to make his sculptures. The Museum of Modern Art acquired a Glut, so it's a work from the same series. It's called Stop-Side Glut. And in that case, it's a assembled metal. It's a floor piece. It includes stop signs, and in one case, the stop sign is positioned seemingly on its side from the way you would see it. Some of these have probably never been exhibited, because Bob was a prolific artist, and although he had exhibitions regularly, he didn't get to show everything he made. So this has been exhibited. It was in an exhibition in Inverleith House, which is in Edinburgh, Scotland.
What's so fascinating about Bob is the wildness of his imagination and the creativity that he had exploring materials. And these are works that may have been seen at the Menil collection. So for example, the cardboard series, which are now entering the halls of the Guggenheim, the Met, MoMA, SF MoMA, these wonderful pieces where he's exploring the use of cardboard, the use of recycled metalwork and material, and even being inspired by his time in India to use fabrics and introducing that as an alternative for canvas.
Well, I think people are maybe vaguely aware of an undertaking he started in 1985 called Rauschenberg Overseas Culture Interchange, and it was his way of connecting with cultures around the world, and gathered imagery by camera and artifacts, and then made works which were shown in these various countries. It was a grand traveling enterprise. Over the years, there's been a big collection of archival photographs. This batch right in front of me were taken when Bob went to India to work on two series of editioned works for Gemini GEL. This is at the Gandhi Ashram, and he was making works called Bones and Unions. This is a book that was published by Gemini, who they published a series of editioned cardboard works called Card Birds. And it's a wonderful little statement by Bob about his use of cardboard. So then he wrote, "After a while, resistance, a desire built up in me to work in a material of waste and softness, something yielding with its only message, a collection of lines imprinted like a friendly joke, a silent discussion of their history exposed by their new shapes, labored commonly with happiness, boxes." Such a typical Rauschenbergian approach.
Bob was an artist that was constantly captivated by new ideas. He developed artwork because he saw the beauty in the everyday object. So whether it's the beauty of a cardboard box and looking at it as an entirely different material to create sculpture, the concept of art being a currency to cross borders through Rocky, through this international cultural exchange with artists. The creative force that he presented, many different movements of art, is what we're left with now in his legacy.